And we are back. Spring Jamboree Quarterfinals, Verdant Tyros versus Elite 8. And this has gone to Game 3, 1-1 apiece. Verdant Tyros and Elite 8 looking to win. Both teams putting on great displays so far, but Elite 8 in Game 2 actually put on a stomp. What do you think is going to happen in this Game 3, HarkenScythe?
I definitely expect a Fiora ban from Tyros, and we keep seeing the Riven ban, so Lasona, obviously a good Riven player. I expect the Fiora ban either second or third, and I still expect the Ziggs ban from Elite 8, but they may throw some other bans around as well.
I'm going.
Ziggs ban, no surprise, Fez. So much work in Game 1 with it. And honestly, even if they do win this, we should expect to never see Ziggs again. Inevitably.
No, I don't think we will. And we see another Zillion ban away from Corrin. So Blastona and Corrin, they don't get to play at least one champion for the entire series. The Illusion ban again. I believe he was banned in Game 2 as well. But there's the Fiora ban, so I don't know what Blastona might go to next. We could see... I wouldn't mind seeing a Rumble here. Rumble, of course, very strong top lane champion, especially if your top laner can play with him well, but of course I could be completely wrong and they might not even try for the Rumble, but it's something I wouldn't mind seeing. But this time, Tyros, they're going to take away the Orianna from Corrin, who played it 2 games in a row.
See what they go for in response of having the Orianna down. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like an Ahri come out. It is a popular pick in the current meta.
Certainly Ahri, sort of seeing a little bit of a resurgence. Nothing massive, but, she's getting played a little bit more. See if anything too crazy happens, or if it's just going to be expected picks. They're taking their time with this one, talking amongst each other and seeing what they really want to try and do.
Yeah, a lot of tension for this final game. Game 3, this is a best-of-3 series in the quarterfinals. Despite this already feeling like a finals matchup, Kennen picked up for Blastona.
This time,
as well as the
we see the Kennen for Blastona instead of 8-bit Buck, and Rusty getting Hecarim. I think that was the first time he's gotten Hecarim all series. So we'll see if it was truly ban worthy or not today.
Hovering the Rise would be a very interesting pick to see Fezzy. Almost uncharacteristic if you were to go on that champion. But wait, you already picked out Orianna, so what am I saying here?
Rise support.
Best
calling it now.
Possible.
Definitely.
Kale.
Obviously, we completely overpowered. That's a Kale. That could be a very
No, he's gonna
interesting
switch that to
pick.
Rek'Sai at like the last second. Come on.
It could be a Kale top lane, and they're picking it now, but Lee Sin? Lee Sin or Rek'Sai? It's gonna be Lee Sin for JLC. A little bit stronger playmaking jungler. Let's see if he can actually play it well or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. Playmaking, but can he make the plays?
That's the hard part on Lee Sin.
That is the question.
Because if you can't make those plays, then
it's a risky pick because it does fall off towards the mid game, definitely in the late game. So if you don't do well early, then you've really been a liability for your team. So the question is, to Lee or not to Lee?
But there's a lot of CC already from the from Tyros. They already have the binding, so it's not going to be super hard for him to get a good kick in. They're mobile, but Altus hovering the Sivir. And Corrin hovering the Azir. I don't think he's going to pick it, but he...
That's a very interesting hover. He locks it in.
We're going to see the Emperor of Shurima back on the Rift. Azir, a pick that's been nerfed in, not even into the ground. He's basically he's been nerfed. What's further than into the ground?
I don't know. Okay, he's not that bad. You're being a little bit too overdramatic now.
Yeah, but he's been nerfed quite hard, very repeatedly. So he's still a good pick if you're good at Azir, but I don't know. It's into the Orianna, so it's not a terrible matchup. You definitely outrange them, but 8-bit Buck probably just gonna go back to that Renekton and see what Samano wants to. Yeah. And we're gonna see what Samano wants to try and pick up for the carry role. You see an Ashe. It would be a pretty good pick into the, and they do lock it in. So that's actually a lot of CC for Lee Sin.
Yeah,
a lot of
front line is kind of weak for Verdant Tyros here. How will Elite 8 respond? I do like the Renekton into the cannon though. I feel like it has a lot of potential to keep that cannon shut down quite early.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see how they make it work, because I wonder what Conch is going to pick.
I wonder.
All right, let's see it. I want to see a Malphite support.
If he doesn't pick Thresh, something is going weird in the world right now.
Thresh would be a decent pick, but he picks Lulu. All right.
It's not bad though, because what this does is it prevents 8-bit Buck from getting onto someone and, you know, trying to attempt an assassination. This also prevents it from JLC if he tries to go for some kind of flashy kick that can completely stop it with the wild growth.
And of course they have the massive Azir range, so they have a very, very safe backline with the Ezreal, again, very long range AD carry, and Azir, a very long range mid laner. So let's see if he can make it work. Azir, not the strongest of champions, but it's possible. It's possible. I'm not discounting it, but Azir is not the strongest right now. So
it's not saying that he's not the strongest in the game. It's more like he's not the strongest in the current meta. And sometimes meta doesn't mean jack
but
of anything.
But
try not to use bad words here.
It's gonna be.
You should see something good come out of Corrin. Corrin's played really consistently well so far, so I'm not going to downplay Azir until I actually see it in work, because I do believe that Corrin can put on a pretty good show with it.
Yeah, let's hope he can put on a good show with Azir. Of course, he's a very powerful pick, but it's all on the player, so if he plays well, it's going to be a really good pick. If he doesn't, it's going to be a really bad pick. So it all depends, and a very different comp coming out of Elite 8. It's putting Blastona on a ranged carry instead of a melee one. Rusty off of the Zac, finally. He's on the Hecarim. Corrin played Orianna twice, had it picked away, so he changes to Azir. And Conch played Thresh twice, and now he's going to Lulu. So a little bit of a spice up for Elite 8, and it'll be interesting to see how that makes their playstyle change.
So, for those of you just joining us, this is the Spring Jamboree Quarterfinals. Verdant Tyros versus Elite 8. They are both 1-1 apiece. We're going to find out who takes it pretty soon once we get past this spectator delay. And the Spring Jamboree is a 2-day tournament. The grand prize are mystery gifts. And, you know, it's not really about the prize. It's about the fun. It's about the experience. It's the learning. This is hosted by Risen eSports and Ascension eSports, as well as Complete League. And we are about to get into this quarterfinals match. I am your caster, Decerux, followed by my co-caster, HarkenScythe. And who do you think will take it home, Harken? Where'd my caster go?
Whoopsies, I keep turning off my microphone. Oh, God. Okay. All right, so I want to say,
User joined your channel.
after what Elite 8 did that game, I want to say they're going to take it because now they have the momentum, but Tyros, they showed us in game 1 that they can definitely give Elite 8 a run for their money, so I think it's. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's up to a coin flip. Whoever can carry the momentum they have from their one win better will easily take this.
Yeah, we're gonna see pretty soon. I'm gonna have to lean. I'm not sure which way to lean actually. I kind of want to lean for Elite 8 on this one.
Yeah, like I said, it's just the comps are different to what we've seen, especially for Elite 8. Very different champions in the top half of the map, and for half of the bottom half, it's different. So I don't know. There's a lot riding on these new picks, like the Azir and like the Kennen. So they can play them well, then they definitely have, a really good comp.
And here we go, Elite 8 versus Verdant Tyros coming up in just a second. Game 3 is about to get underway. Will Samano get his revenge on Elite 8? Or will Elite 8 show why they are Elder League champions?
This is gonna be quite the game. Both games were pretty much stomped in whatever direction, with Elite 8 just taking that last game, and of course we saw Tyros, they dominated that first game of the set, so it'll be interesting to see who can carry their momentum better.
And since this is a game 3, we have a special surprise for you. We're now a TriCast, introducing the man himself, the Doctor. How are you doing today, Doc?
Not bad. The games I've seen tonight have already been so exciting. I'm happy to be a part of the surprise Game 3 special TriCast. And looking at these champ selects, I think it's going to be a banger. I think we have a big one coming in for us.
Yeah, I mean, these last two games have been absolutely crazy. We've seen kills all over the place. We've seen a lot of skirmishes. We've seen some huge wombo combos from Elite 8, but now they don't have that Orianna. So it's a question of, can they make said wombo combos work with the Azir?
Yeah, and I definitely think that Azir is in a bad spot. The heal coming in on the Azir as well seems a bit questionable, but it definitely seems like it's something that if you're picking it in Game 3, you know what you're doing on that champion.
Well, I mean, the thing is with Azir, the only summoner spells he should be going are Heal, Barrier, or Exhaust. He can't really run Ghost or Ignite anymore because he's not the dominating force that he used to be. So he needs some way to stay alive in teamfights, and Heal's not the worst. I would have liked Barrier better if he was going to go pure defensive, or I wouldn't have minded something like the Exhaust, but I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he makes this work.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think it synergizes with the comp pretty well. It can deny the engage, and it can cause for some pretty brutal engages of their own, considering that you can knock people into the Slicing Maelstrom. Question is, do they have that kind of synergy? We're going to find out pretty soon, as we're about to get into Verdant Tyros Elite 8, Game 3, winner takes all.
Well, we can say that they have had some pretty sick counter engages with the Orianna. Of course, they don't have Orianna this game, so it's definitely possible for them to make those huge engages happen. And they do have a Hecarim this time around who has, of course, the big, this huge fear, so he can make it work. But JLC as well on a different champion this game. That's 3 unique champions he has played so far today. He's played the Gragas, I believe. He's also played Rek'Sai, and now gonna be on that Lee Sin. Let's see if he can make the plays happen.
Yeah, and 8-Bit Buck is somebody that I've seen a lot of in the past. Does very well on Renekton particularly, but does also very well on these high damage early game top laners that need to get ahead.
Yeah, and
did you see him with that? Level 1 coming out! The kill picked up by Verdant Tyros.
So we see some level 1 action first time, and it instantly results in a kill on Rusty, and the Ghost was used too, to no effect.
Yeah, first blood in level 1. It's the first early game action I've seen all night. Thank you guys for letting me see it. But unfortunately, the kill goes to Allspark, the Morgana support.
It could be worse,
500
I
gold, 500
suppose.
gold.
I mean, and everyone also gets the assist gold, so
A 25 split right there.
I mean, there's nobody support. It's just you definitely want it to go on either JLC or 8-bit right now. Either of those, it just completely swings the game a different direction.
but it went on them. They at least got the kill, so it's going to be some money in their pocket. It means that JLC does actually get a control world early, so JLC could look to go aggressive on this bot lane, but
And that's what he needs to do if he wants to be relevant in this game. The early game of Lee Sin is legendary in status, and if he can really control this early game, then he gets his team ahead, especially considering the fall off that Lee Sin experiences.
yeah, but looks like he's going that same path. He's going to go red into wolves into probably blue and then try and gank the Kennen. And unlike last time when Blastona was on Fiora, Kennen doesn't have any real mobility. Sure, he does have the speed up, but red buff slow. And the Lee Sin E, the cripple, also slows him. So very possible that JLC gets a successful gank off top lane. But right now, nothing too crazy happening. Altus dodges the binding.
We're going to see a gank come out. Lee Sin in the top lane. JLC looking to get on to Blastona. Blastona is a little bit too far forward. Is he going to be able to get away? Sonic Wave goes out, but it misses, and that's all the damage JLC had right there. Gank unsuccessful.
I'm surprised he didn't try and still E to get a little bit more burst out, but he plays it safe. He gets out, so that's ultimately an unsuccessful gank. But Rusty is nearby. He could look for a gank of his own, but the problem is Buck is really far. He's far back under his turret, and that is not very tanky Hecarim at all.
A bit of a nice trade going on here. Buck going on to Blastona, getting a lot of damage in, but looking around the corner, it's going to be JLC plays, but can he make a play onto Blastona? Sonic Wave goes, and it lands. Flashes a little bit too early. Blastona still manages to get out.
Good flash, he does make it out, and Buck is still pretty low, so he does have to be a little bit careful of the Hecarim gank, and Blastona without a flash against the Lee Sin, probably going to be playing a little bit more carefully now.
So now that things have kind of settled down a little bit, what do we think we're going to see from Kennen? We've seen AP Kennen quite a bit.
Just when we said it settles down, it goes back up again. Altus, Magic Conch, Samano, and Allspark really trading. 8-Bit Buck is caught out. 8-Bit Buck is going to go down. Will he? No, he manages to flash out just barely in time.
Very well played by 8-Bit, and that's what you can do when you know how your champion works. When you know what is your limit, bam, that's the kind of play you can make.
It's a little bit of trading. Corrin doing good on the Azir in terms of CS, keeping up with the Orianna. He's going to be about a wave ahead now because he did deny the wave for her, so played to him.
So to answer your question, Doc, in this lane, I don't know which way it's going to really fall out. We do have a lot of potential for Blastona to be able to disengage any advancements that 8-Bit Buck can do, but if he doesn't do it well enough, that damage will add up, and it'll add up quickly.
It does look like that he's going to be going on hit Kennen, though. He's going to be going most likely for Borg. It's something we've been seeing as a counter to more tanky teams because AP Kennen kind of doesn't have the damage, but I don't know. I haven't seen on hit Kennen in solo queue, so I can't quite be certain how it's going to work, but
The one game I've seen it on, it kind of got put in the dirt.
yeah,
do very well.
Spark.
doesn't look like that's going to change too much. Feeder, in a little bit, but this bot.
Oh, here
Rusty.
comes Rusty, the flash just in time. JLC trying to do the return, but he's less than half health. If he lands a Sonic Wave, it might be a death sentence for him.
His mind's telling him no, but his body's telling him yes.
Yeah.
You know he wants. You know he wants to go in. Every Lee Sin wants to go in when they hit that Q. But no successful gank in the bot lane. Both summoners use on Spark and also heal force out of Samano for nothing. So good gank by Rusty. He looks a lot better on this Hecarim than he did on the Zac. I can see why it was banned out in the games prior to this one. And Fezzi just taking the free autos from the Azir down to about half. Corrin keeping even so far, and an Azir that keeps even can pretty easily win the game.
I see both of you talking trash about this Azir.
Hey, I wasn't talking
believe
trash.
in
I was
Corrin.
just saying that it's very dependent on the player. And
Oh, look
Corrin,
at this. Look at this. We're seeing a repeat on 8-Bit Buck. 8-Bit Buck gets knocked back. Here comes the slicing Maelstrom. 8-Bit getting the slice. Can he get the dice? He's trying to get away. Is he going to be able to get away? It's so close. First, second blood, I mean, picked up by Feeder.
and the Sonic Wave missed, so JLC is gonna have no return damage. But Fizzy's here. Nothing's gonna come of it, and that's an ineffective roam by Fizzy. So good kill by Rusty and Blastona, and that's a kill going over to the Kennen. And now Corrin's here.
Ooh, is that going to be enough? No, it is not. Very risky move. Doesn't pay off.
But Corrin, where's the Azir sec? He's not gonna go for it. He had the mana for it. He could have gone for it. Absolute wuss. But he's just gonna play it safe. He did kind of mess up the shifting sands. He wasn't quite able to get over to the point where he could help Rusty. He kind of got stuck on the corner of the wall. But well played by Tyros to pick up that kill after a mistake from Corrin. But he's gonna make a roam.
Yeah, so this
And
is kind of
Spark.
scary for Samano. Does get the arrow to land, but now
Questionable
Allspark's
Ezreal ult.
Here comes Corrin. Corrin trying to get something on Allspark. Allspark is taking a lot of damage, and there goes the wall. Down goes Allspark.
And
Nope.
that will be the Earth Dragon going over to a team that will use it quite effectively.
Oh yeah, with the Azir attack speed, Hecarim being able to use that. Trinity Force once he gets it, but no steal.
Yeah, very easy dragon picked up by Elite 8. And as you
And-
said, yeah, that is a very effective dragon for Elite 8, especially when it comes to this tower siege. Especially when it comes to just how much ranged attack they have.
Corrin doing pretty well in the Azir. He did pick up that assist, so he has a little bit of extra money in his pocket. Gonna get that Gnasher's Tooth first. He's a little bit of extra damage.
Uh-oh, Blastone's caught out a little bit. Uses Slicing Maelstrom immediately as a defensive tactic to get out of that one.
So he does get away. So JLC not doing the greatest on this Lee Sin.
That's what we were talking about earlier. It's all about early game. If you can't do it well, then you shouldn't be on the Chan. Hopefully he can redeem himself and step up his play quite a bit. Shockwave goes on to Corrin. Corrin's taking a lot of damage, has to jump away, and there is the Dragon's Rage onto Feeder. He does not have Slicing Maelstrom anymore. He's running for his life. but he's running into the arms of Fezzy Fez. Can he get out in time? Will he be protected? Feeder running as fast as he can, trying to get around the inevitable doom that's following him. Uses the blast plant. Can he execute in time? Trying to run. It doesn't look good for Feeder. Gets tagged, and that should be the end. Ash Arrow just ensures it.
The Ash Arrow from base connecting right in the face of the little squirrel there. But
So
you could see the indecision there from Feeder. He didn't know whether he wanted to go up to the tier 2 or try and just run it straight into the base. And he kind of got caught between the worlds there, and he died for it.
So that's 2 kills onto the Lee Sin. He's participated in every kill so far. So he's doing okay, but he's not really having a massive amount of impact, and it's showing in the fact that, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Azir, he's also very squishy, and he doesn't really have any way to help himself survive ganks outside of mobility.
ADCs, though, it just came down to good vision. If any other mid laner was in that situation, it would have been the same result.
So no crazy large gold differences or CS differences making their way in here. Everybody pretty much even, except for the top lane is down about a wave and a half to Kennen, but that's a tricky matchup to play for the Renekton.
Yeah. No super crazy leads right now. It's sitting at about 800 gold right now. So gold lead, not that big. And Kennen, as you said, doing pretty well into the Renekton.
Yep,
Just chunking through Buck.
That auto build working out pretty well so far. Buck actually building armor first.
It's pretty smart. He noticed that the Kennen is going for that attack speed build, and he knows that he's not going to be facing the AP Kennen unless Kennen decides halfway through the build, the great switcheroo, and we see an
The old
AP
bait
Kennen.
and switch. Oh man, he built an armor item. Let me just change this real quick.
Just sell his Bork for a proto belt. There we go. Probably cheap enough that you can buy it with sold money from Bork.
The Proto Belt builds are some of my favorites. Flash Binding Atlas should be going down. Soul Shackles got popped as well.
He was definitely not getting out of that one, but
Yeah.
Corrin, you need to be a little bit careful, buddy. There's a Lee Sin coming around on the map. And Lee Sin, if he does come through that river, he's gonna be spotted, but looks like he's just gonna hold for now.
And this is becoming pretty tough for Elite 8 as they are getting picked off time and time again. We need to find some way to get back into this game.
Yeah, they need to start trying to gank, because Rusty hasn't been ganking a huge amount. He's been ganking occasionally, but as I say that, he's gonna
Not gank.
run into bush. Alright, I was expecting something, but I was disappointed.
One of those things where Hecarim is very gold reliant. The trick here is though that we're not seeing damage coming out of the Lee Sin, so it's really not the end of the world if it takes a little while for Hecarim to get online, because it's not gonna matter because Hecarim's not gonna be doing much.
Yeah, it looks like Lee
Down
Sin
goes Blastona.
and under the turret, a little bit.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
a
little
bit-
suspect.
I mean, I don't think diving a Renekton that has ultimate is exactly the smartest idea, but let's see if they're going to be able to shove that up to turret, and it's just Rusty.
Rusty's
gonna do-
trying to get on the 8-bit Buck. 8-bit Buck taking 2 tower shots. Rusty's choosing to pursue this. Unfortunately, the flash is burnt, and he doesn't pick up anything else for it.
But that flash is on a much longer cooldown than Onslaught of Shadows, so a decent trade coming out by Rusty, forcing out the flash. So We're not going to see any flash stuns onto, say, Ezreal to kill
Ash
him.
Arrow lands on the Corrin
man.
the Cat, and so does the binding
no.
Corrin the Cat. Is about to be
Oh.
euthanized as he tries to run for his life. Can he get out? He barely does, but down goes Magic Conch in his place. Dark Binding lands on the Atlas. This doesn't look good for him. Double kill picked up for JLC.
And JLC is fed as hell. He's 6-0-1. And now there's just a lonely Azir who should just leave lane. Ooh, Sonic Wave.
Holy
very close.
moly. And this is a 0 damage Lee Sin. He's sitting on a warrior enchant and must be pretty wealthy. 2,500 gold in the bank.
He's just kill stealing, that's all. And they're gonna get this Ocean Drake. So, maybe a little bit more sustain for them. And Corrin, you need to be a little bit careful, buddy. So, Corrin, he has finished his Nashor's Tooth. Altus has the Iceborne Gauntlet, and tier stacked up to close to half. But there's no huge power spikes coming in for Elite 8 other than the Azir finishing Nashors, but even that.
Ooh, beautiful bait coming out of 8-Bit Buck. Blastona might be getting way too close, and this doesn't look good for Blastona. Has to flash away. He's trying to kite it as best as he can, but it's not gonna happen. Or is it? He manages to get enough room to just barely survive. But look who is coming up the river. It is Fezzy Fez, and he wants the blood of a certain rat as he tries to run for his life. Has to take the execute. Is in no man's land right now. It's surprising why he's not going for the execute. Instead, he gives up a kill, and Dragon's Rage ensures that one.
The flash, Dragon Rage, kick to the back of the head. Sends a message, if anything.
Yeah, and that's the attack speed build. It's not looking too good now,
But he did finish his Blade of the Ruin King.
So,
Oh, look at this. Here comes Rusty trying to get something done. And Chance across the arrow lands onto Rusty, but he was in the onslaught of shadows at the time. Will Allspark go down? He does not. And here comes the teleport from 8-Bit Buck, trying to get some damage off, trying to make big plays. And he does as Rusty goes down to Samano. Here comes the teleport, but there is no slicing Maelstrom.
no.
So this is still in the advantage. Shockwave goes down. Magic Clutch gets melted, and so does Peter. This looks terrible for Elite 8. Oh, what a turnaround from
Wow.
Corrin.
they could look for more, and no one's really super high health besides the Ashe, and they have an Azir now, so like they're just gonna back off. But that's a 3-for-1, not worth it for Elite 8, and they're getting run over once again by Tyros.
I kind of wish this was a best of 5 now.
We can see back and forth games every time. Or Corrin just finding on the tip of his nose. Get out of it. Grab some tasty, tasty honey fruit and just go back to mid lane.
This is kind of where the lack of damage from the Ezreal build is starting to become apparent. There were quite a few low health bars there on the side of Tyros, but with the Mystic Shots either not landing or not having any attack damage behind them, they don't do a whole lot.
Yeah, with 8-Bit.
Seeing the gank right here. 8-Bit Buck fighting out of that one. Doesn't give a damn.
Gunks down Rusty. That's the power of Renekton. Has so much damage even with just a Tiamat. And this Rusty finally has that Triforce. He's had it for a little bit, but they're gonna get this mid lane tier 1, and Corrin, you need to
The tower just
Oh,
does not
Shockwave on the Corrin.
Uh,
Corrin taking a lot of damage, and what a great setup coming out of Verdant Tyros. But here's the slicing Maelstrom on an 8-Bit Buck. Blastona trying to run for his life here. This is actually a really scary setup. Can he get the stun? He does. Is he able to outplay? No, he does not. And now another fight is breaking out. Rusty in no man's land gets dropped by FezzyFez. Magic Conch having to flash away, and this game is being ran away when it comes to Verdant Tyros taking it.
Red team's turret has been
Tyros looking really, really good so far. They advanced through first round, convincingly winning the game versus Diamond Eclipse, and now taking it to Elite 8.
Oh no.
No.
What a great binding coming out of Allspark.
And
Allspark.
JLC hops the wall, Dragon Rage in the head.
Absolutely on point with this Morgana once again. And 8-bit, that's a good flank versus Magic.
While Harken seems to have died, 8-bit is doing fantastic on this Rumble, and it's exactly like I said, he knows how to play this champion.
Did you just say Rumble? I think we're playing Renekton here.
Yeah.
Did I?
Oh, getting caught in the air. Good play coming out of Rusty. 8-bit Buck trying to run away. Is he going to be able to get out of this? Chooses to fight it a little bit, but now he's on the run. Here comes Rusty looking to get the flank, and goodbye. Gets run over. Corn the Cat grabs that kill.
Good 2 kills by Elite 8, but they're gonna need a few more than that. The gold lead still sitting at about 7,500 gold actually. So it's a little bit more money in their pocket, but it's still gonna be very much. It's like climbing a mountain for them to actually win this game.
Yeah, I mean 16-5. The goal or the kill lead alone is pretty daunting when you're in this game, because when you're in these players' shoes, you're just trying to farm out, you're trying to play your game, but then you look up and it's 16-5. It's very mentally taxing, especially when this 8-1 Lee Sin. Granted, he's not building damage, but he still does damage. So when it's in these situations like this, there's a lot weighing on the player's minds.
And that's going to be another dragon going over to Tyros. Real late, going to be able to steal it away this time. So they steal away they take away the Mountain Drake from Elite 8 and prevent them from getting double Mountain Drake.
Yeah, looking up to ward up this bottom side jungle of Elite 8s. And the pressure is really on. It's not just the binding they have to avoid, it's the enchanted crystal arrow, and they're having a hard time disengaging these very, very hard engages coming out of Verdant Tyros. And there it is, a binding. Will it be followed up with an arrow? Does not. Sonic Wave does land, but chooses not to follow up with it.
Come on, JLC. You're like every other Elite Sim player. Go in.
And there's a shockwave core, the cat gets destroyed! FezzyFez gets that kill! JLC looking to try and get on them, but Allspark is so deep and so alone. Gets the shoal shackles and gets the dark binding. Double kill picked up for FezzyFez. Here comes the slicing maelstrom. Is it gonna be enough? No! Dragon's Rage denies a lot of it, but FezzyFez does get dropped and Rusty gets dropped as well. Will Magic Conch be able to do anything? It's impossible as JLC gets the ace.
As a 5-4. That's a 5-for-2 in favor of Tyros. Amazing team fighting. Corrin gets down early. Altus and tries to go down as well. Rusty and Feeder, they come really, really close to turning that around. That slicing maelstrom, so close, but doesn't quite get it. And now they're going to get the inhibitor turret.
So 24 minutes of the game, they break the base. And that's going to help them a lot. They might not have gotten the inhibitor, but when it comes down to it, breaking the base is really the hardest part of a league game. And if you can do that early on at 24 minutes, especially on the bot side of the map, it opens up so many doors for you to take later on.
Yeah, this is a Tyros looking to end this game quickly, going straight for the throat of Elite 8. And Elite 8 just have no response. There's very little they can do at this point to actually save the game.
Yeah, Orianna, the 5-1-11 pretty respectful build coming out. I mean, not going with the Morello into Rabadons. That was pretty meta for a while. Did go with the Ludens into Boots and Void Staff. So, I mean, her damage isn't quite as high as it could be at this stage of the game.
It's better. It's better against, say, the Hecarim and people who build magic resist than just straight up able to assassinate squishies. But he still does a good amount of damage to squishies. So it's not like this build is lacking damage.
Binding lands and still just Soul Shackles. Dragon Rage goes out, but here comes the Onslaught of Shadows. Are they able to get the return kill onto JLC? Shockwave catches Corrin, and Corrin goes down immediately! This looks terrible for Elite 8.
And
no, Blastona in the back. Is he able to get away? Doesn't look so. Here comes 8-Bit Buck.
Peter
Not
following
if
his game.
8-Bit has anything to say about it.
And that was almost a sick flank, but Samano, great arrow, hits him up with it, and the flank was denied. And now they're just going to run down mid lane. They could look to rotate bot lane afterwards. Altus.
What in the world was that?
That's
So
the Orianna
much
being fed.
damage.
Yeah, that's going to be double inhibitor. If not the game, but it's going to be at least 2. And after that, look for them to go toward Baron possibly. And just end this game.
However, they do have to do Baron properly. There's a lot of AoE and control that Elite 8 can still bring to the table even this far behind. So if they get caught in a bad Baron fight, the tables are completely turned.
Oh, definitely, but Rusty, you are not tanky at all, my friend. You need to be careful around this Orianna. Even without the, as you said, Rabadon, the Rabadon's Death Cap build still has really high damage. Even against squishies, we saw him absolutely blow up the bot lane combination, almost getting a double kill onto Altus and Conch, killing Conch. So this is, it's not even a mountain anymore. It's like trying to climb up a planet, like a literal planet.
I think we really have to question the build of Blastona in this case. Going for that attack speed Blade with the Rune King Cannon, it's not paying off. It's not really giving his team anything. It feels like it was played just to win the lane, and he didn't even do that.
No, definitely not. And now, oh, he might be caught.
Yeah, he's definitely caught all spark.
Oh.
We'll look for a Soul Shackles into a Dark Binding. Goes with the Dark Binding instead. Flash goes out, but still the only thing that's flashing is his life before his eyes.
So that's another pick, and now they're just going to go for the Baron because that's one of the big ultimates gone.
Yeah,
they still have the Azir ult, but Azir's busy mid lane, and they don't even
in the bot lane.
They don't even see the Baron. So good pickup. Look for them to move mid lane or bot lane and try and push in this advantage, or they're pinging out top lane. They could get triple inhibs just to increase the pain for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, going for the triple inhib is the safe play. You don't want to have to force anything, and while the super minions can take out the tower, you just want to calmly sit in the top lane, take the advantages that you have.
Conch. You need to be a little...
Oh my goodness! What a play from FezzyFest, but he does drop Kin. The Elite 8 actually gets something out of this. They're doing a lot of work, but they're also taking a lot of damage back. Samano is huge. He's been unchecked in this fight, getting kill after kill. Double kill picked up Corey. The cat's gonna be next, and he falls. This should be the game. Verdant Tyros playing this to a perfect display of aggression.
And Tyros, they take the series and they're going to get to move on. Very well played by them. Calm play, collected play, and they just steamrolled Elite 8.
And we have to get to the story behind this game. It is redemption for Samano, who Elite 8 3-0'd his team in the final. Samano able to get that revenge and redemption at the same time. And it must feel good for him in order to put away Elite Eight.
Oh, definitely. What a game from Samano, Fezzy Fez, JLC, 8-Bit Buck, and Spark.
And we see right there, Fezzy Fez's damage way in the lead. Those shockwaves, those dissonances, everything he did was just so big in this game. But despite all that, I don't know if you guys agree, I have to give player of the game to Allspark, who actually enabled a lot of that early to mid game.
Oh, definitely. He was getting catch after catch after catch. Those bindings, if I was getting hit with those bindings, I probably would have DC'd at 5 minutes. Because it was like watching Conch on Thresh. He was just hitting it by the tip, but he was hitting it almost every time.
Yeah, and I mean, also not to take away from both Oriana and Morgana, 8-Bit on that Renekton definitely kind of put on a clinic even into the bad matchup of the Kennen. Kennen, we did see him going a bit of an on-hit build and it not quite working out, but it's still a hard matchup for the Renekton, and the fact that even with Rusty coming up and making appearances in the top lane, 8-Bit weathered the storm and managed to pull out and just do tons of damage late game.
Oh, definitely. He was just putting in the work. He was diving in. The rest of his team was able to follow up, and he had the Oriana as well, so they had an easy ball delivery system.
Yeah, most definitely. And off that note, that ends quarterfinals for Group A. Tune in tomorrow and we will catch semis as well as finals for the Spring Jamboree. This has been Decerux, followed by the Doctor. The Doctor.
And then there's that other guy.
Yeah.
Then there's me.
There's that other guy. HarkenScythe. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a great night.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Love ya.